Hey guys, and welcome back to an all new episode of Made to Order a la Orden. For my new subscribers out there, I am Chef Z, and today we are making some chicken ropa vieja, aka shredded chicken, aka pollo ripiado. Now, as you can see, this awesome dish goes by a bunch of different names. In fact, when I shared my ropa vieja video, a lot of you guys were wondering if you can make ropa vieja with chicken, and the answer is of course you can. And we're doing that today because guess what? Thanksgiving is around the corner, which means that your girl is making empanadas and pastelitos around the clock. And last year I showed you how to make beef empanadas, and this year I'm going to be showing you how to make chicken empanadas. But before we even get to the empanada part, I want to show you how to make that awesome filling, which by the way, goes amazing with some mashed potatoes, rice and beans, you name it. Let's go ahead and jump right into this recipe.
We're going to start off by seasoning our chicken breast with some sazón, a tiny bit of cumin, some Dominican oregano, some black pepper, some adobo, some garlic powder, some good old stubborn onion powder, a tiny bit of salsa china, which is some light sodium soy sauce. And then we're also going to add some white onions and some bell peppers. Now, I love infusing a bunch of color into this dish, so feel free to use whatever kind of peppers you have. I went with an orange and red combination. We're also going to add some freshly squeezed lime juice and a little bit of olive oil just to give this marinade a little bit of give. Then we're going to mix everything until it's well combined. Now, I do urge you to let this sit for a little bit and let it marinate just so that you get the maximum amount of flavor out of this dish. Next, we're going to heat up some olive oil into a skillet, and then we're going to add the chicken when the oil is really hot. And it's important that you let the oil really steam up almost to its smoking point just so that you get the perfect browning on these chicken breasts. Some people like to burn a little bit of sugar when they do this, so if you're one of those people, then feel free to go ahead and do that. So once the chicken has been browning for a few minutes, I want to say about 5 to 7 minutes, we're going to go ahead and flip them over just so that the other side gets some nice browning as well. And once all sides have been browned, we're now going to add some water into our marinade bowl because we don't want to leave any good old marinade behind. Now, if you're not new to my channel, you know I do this every time I make meat or every time I have a bomb marinade. We're now going to add that water into the chicken, and we're going to let that stew for about 20 to 30 minutes because we want those chicken breasts to really cook all the way through. This is really important, especially if you cut your chicken breast in much larger and thicker chunks than I did right here. So once the chicken is just about done, we're now going to add our tomato paste or tomato sauce, whatever you're using. Because I'm using tomato paste, I swirl it around just a little bit just to help it dissolve. And my sauce was looking a little thicker than I wanted it to at this very moment. So I actually added just like a few tablespoons of water. I practically eyeballed it. It was no more than about 2 tablespoons of water. Now, I am going to let my sauce thicken, but I'm going to do that later on in the video. So now that the chicken is practically cooked, we're now going to take the chicken out because we're going to prepare it to shred it later on. You want to leave the sauce behind, and once the chicken is all out of the pot, we're actually going to turn it off and let the sauce cool down because it's going to thicken on its own. Now we're going to shred our chicken breast, and just like in my Ropa Vieja video, I like to take some tongs and use a fork to help me shred it. You can definitely do this by hand, just be careful because if you're doing this while the chicken is hot, you can burn yourself. If anything, you have to resist the urge not to eat all of the chicken. I kid you not, when I was filming this video, my dog was sitting right beside me just hoping and wishing for some scraps. Now that the chicken is all shredded, I'm going to add some olives, which is totally optional, and I'm going to mix it around in the sauce. As you can see, my sauce has thickened up considerably since you last saw it. And by the way, I'm doing all of this right now on like a medium to low flame. And now we're going to add the chicken, and we're going to very gently fold it into the sauce. Now, because I'm using this chicken as some empanada filling, I left the sauce fairly thick, only because I don't want it to ooze out later on when I'm frying my pastelitos. But if you're eating this chicken with some rice and beans or on some plátano or yuca, then feel free to leave your sauce much looser and much more runny. Nonetheless, it's really delicious. Thank you so much for watching this video. Come back next week when I have an all new video. And like always, buen provecho, guys.
The end felt like it's not this, it's not that, and kind of.
Cause it's like a mish. It's a hybrid. I'll call it. It's a hybrid.
No, it's chicken Ropa Vieja.
But I don't like to call it chicken Ropa Vieja.
Or
Pollo Ripiao.